Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and apologies first because this one starts a little bit wonky. I think I must have caught the camera with my head, which sounds a bit odd, but it is literally just above my desk. So in this one I'm using Collage Sparks, and I'm going to be creating a little book using them. And then as my focal points in the book, I'm going to be using some of the art foamy stamps that Megan Quinlan designed, that were released not long ago. So I've chosen some pages out of the Collage Sparks, just random ones really. I wasn't particularly going for any theme, and here I've folded them in half, and then I'm just using my double-sided tape gun and I'm sticking them back to back, and you can see that creates a little book, easy enough to do. And I just decided I wanted another page in there, so I'm just grabbing another one just to finish off and doing the same thing, folding in half and then adding some double-sided tape on there, lining it up and sticking it in place. So I've already stamped out these art foamy designs. I had a play with them and painted some different colours. This is some tape. It's a little bit like masking tape. I found it in our local post office. It's like a planet friendly one. It's a green one, and I just loved it because it had got this kind of dotty pattern on it. So I'm just putting that over the spine just to A, make it look a bit tidier and a bit prettier, and B, just to help keep the little book together. Trimming off the excess, and now I'm just going to spend a bit of time sticking in the designs where I want them to be. But before I do that, I am adding a bit more stenciling to the pages. The reason I'm doing this is to just bring a bit of cohesiveness to the little book, because obviously all the backgrounds are different in the book because they're all different Collage Sparks, and by adding a bit of stenciling and bringing a bit of colour, the same on each page, it brings that feeling of the book being all part of the same thing really. So I'm using mineral as my colour through the stencil with a blending tool, and I think that stencil that I'd used there was called Connected Dots. This is the cover stencil. They're all Dina Wakley stencils, which won't surprise you at all to know. And yeah, so I'm doing a bit of stenciling and then just smooshing a bit of colour on using the blending tool that I did the stenciling with, and just because there was a bit of paint left on there really, and it just adds a little area of calmness to the page as well. So yeah, mineral I think is one of my favourite neutral colours of Dina's. It's such a lovely colour, goes so well with so many other of her paints as well. So then I'm using Stoked, and I changed, I was going to say I don't think I changed my blending tool, but I did. This stencil is called Mini Favourites. I like these ones that have got 3 different stencil patterns on it. You're getting a lot of stencil for your money with these ones, because obviously you could do a whole page of stenciling with it. You just move your stencil across a little bit. So now I'm just bringing a pop of colour. Again, just working with the idea that if I've got the same stenciling and colours on all the pages, it helps the book feel one, really, even though I am mixing up the stencils that I'm using. This Stoked is a lovely colour. Obviously, as you'll know, you'll have played with them. They're quite translucent. But that didn't really matter for this because I just wanted to bring a little bit of interest to the background. So next I'm going to start sticking in the little figures that I've created. Now they are bigger than the size of my book, but I don't mind the fact that they're kind of popping out the top. It doesn't bother me at all. In fact, I kind of quite like that. I think it's quite a little quirky element to add. And I am just stapling them in, so don't look if you don't like using staples in your little books. Obviously, you don't have to staple, you can glue them or use tape, whatever is your preference. I think for me, sometimes stapling is just so quick and it's not messy or faffy, and you've just got things in place where you want them to be. So I'm just selecting some of these different figures that I've stamped and then save those ones for another one. This one I'm just cut in half just to pop on the front cover, just so that there's an idea of what's to come. And just sticking that in place. Now you'll notice there I used my double-sided tape gun and glue as well, just for extra stickiness. Okay, so put those to one side to use another time. Now I'm going to go in with some of Dina's transparencies and just add a little bit of those on each page. Again, this is just bringing a little bit of mark making, and there's the ever important cup of tea. There are not many times that I'm in my art room without a cup of tea. I am a complete tea belly, as my friends call me. But I do drink decaffeinated tea. I think I have like 1 cup of caffeinated tea a day and the rest is decaf. So, and I can't really tell the difference, to be honest. But yeah, there's nothing quite like a nice cup of tea. So I am using Dina's ultra thick gel medium to stick these in place, these little pieces of transparency. You can see they're just bringing a little bit of mark making onto the pages. They kind of marry up with the black from the stamping, and just starting to be able to bring some interest onto these backgrounds, these ready created backgrounds from Dina's Collage Sparks. They make a great start. Fabulous for doing, sorry, there's builders outside in the next door neighbour's garden. They're fabulous for making a little book like this, because you don't then have to worry about the blank background. There's no blank page. It's a start, and it's so easy to just get going and create what you want on the background. And you can see this is starting to come together now. So the ultra thick gel medium will dry clear, you won't be able to see it. I have found it works better to use the ultra thick gel medium than a clear glue, because that quite often you'll still be able to see where that is. So now I'm just going in with a jelly roll pen in a fluorescent pink and just adding some little crosses and marks, just a bit more mark making onto the backgrounds. You can't really see it clearly on the video, but they are just tiny little almost like addition signs. And then I've grabbed some washi tapes that I like, and I'm going to be adding a bit of washi onto each page. And then these are some little phrase pieces from Tim Holtz. So they're quite sturdy, they're quite thick, but I'm adding some of those onto my pages, just finding ones that really speak to me and popping those in using a bit of double-sided tape and some clear glue as well. And like I say, just going in with some pieces of washi tape just to bring a bit more interest onto those backgrounds. Again, it's about creating those layers. Yeah, and just kind of finishing that all the way through the little book. So this is a really easy thing to do. I mean, if you don't have the art foamy stamps, it doesn't matter. It's just a really, really easy way to create a little book, to be honest. And it means it's a really quick start. You haven't got too much thinking to do. So yeah, there's a little flip through at the end where I show you how the book kind of looks once it's finished, but you can see how easily this came together. I've also used some of Dina's typed ledger papers for my quotes as well on some of the pages. But yeah, really fun to make and easy to do. So I will leave you to have a little look at the flip through. Thanks for watching. I hope you found this inspiring, and I'll see you again soon.